Okay, Shalom Akim. Kahalalem La Yahawashi Yashabashim Hakudash. And double honors to the great Muslim apostles as well. And thought they Yahawashi for giving me the power not to be this video as well. And from the title, they is referring to the heathen nations. First and foremost, Esau, Edom. They will fear us as Yahawashi approaches. Because the thing is, all the time from now, obviously from now that you're watching the video, whenever you're watching the video, to the time where Yahawashi will then finally arrive, there will still be prophecies to be fulfilled. You know, we've got the mark of the beast to then come through. We've got the men getting spiritual power. Then we've got World War III as well, one of the three major ones in the scriptures. And of course, during that period of time as well, as each one happens, that's when that fear is going to be put upon the heathens. And really, we could even say 2/3 as well. Because the 2/3, obviously, they're against Yahawashi Yahawashi. So, of course, they will put their faith, their hope in idols in the world, which is why they're going to fall. So, let me get my first precept. Because the thing is, in Deuteronomy 28, it talked about Israel having blessings and curses. But of course, we know that right now we're undergoing the curses, man. But the blessings, that's from verse 1 up to about verse 14. And that's the thing, if we obeyed the Most High, then we would have been fine. We would have had those blessings. Right now, we disobeyed them. That's why we're in the curses right now. But the point is, this certain blessing right here, pertaining to the topic, they will fear us, the heathens will fear us, as Yahawashi approaches. So, this is Deuteronomy 28 verse 13. And the Lord Yahweh shall make thee the head and not the tail. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord Yahweh thy power, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. So of course, it's talking about us being in that authority, that state of authority, man. The head of everything, the head of all the nations, man, in control. So of course it says, and the Lord Yahweh shall make thee the head. And of course, to be the head of something, again, as I said, to be in that state of authority, man, overall authority, really. So that's the blessings right there that I said. But right now, we're not the head. We're currently the tail. That's how you know we're in the curses as well, because the curses also talks about the heathens, in contrast to verse 13, that they'll be ahead of us. They'll be the head and we will be the tail as part of the curses. Let me try to get that, because obviously it's a direct contrast to that blessing. It's a curse to match the blessing. So let me see if I can find it, because I know it's in the same chapter. Yeah, so look, I'm just trying to search for it. But yeah, it's evident that we in this state right now, we're in the curses, man. But of course, we all have to, you see yourselves going to Esau, Edom to do certain things, as people say, if you wanted to start a business, you still got to borrow a loan from Esau. And we ain't got a land right now, man. Israel does not have a land. So it's pretty clear, in a state of which even most of our nation, 2/3, they don't know the Most High. They don't really care about him as well, which is why they're going to go through what they're going to go through. Wait, hold on. I think it's the one that talks about just before, the one that, your enemy shall split 7 ways. Maybe that's another thing. I think it's near that one, but Salaki, I'm just trying to find a contrast one. If I spend, Salaki. Yeah, I found it. So this is Deuteronomy, in contrast to the blessing of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 13, which talks about Israel being the head and the heathen nations being the tail. This is the exact opposite. So Deuteronomy 28 verse 43, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So of course the heathens, the strangers that are round about us, reference to the heathens, they're going to be above us, man. That's why, they're able to have their gods, they're able to have their influence in the world right now, making everyone either convert to their idols. You got Ishmael taking people to worship their idols. You got flipping so-called Christians turning other people to worship their idols as well. And then, we're out here, trying to serve Yahawashi Yahawashi. And of course, there's only few of us that are out of the whole wide world that are actually doing it. And even fewer when it comes to Israel as well, man. Because, as they say, Israel's as the sound of the sea. Well, really, that prophecy is going to be fulfilled in the kingdom of Yahawashi. But Jake's everywhere, man. That's the point I'm trying to make. Israel is everywhere. But the point is, right now, that's the curse that we're going through right now, where we're the low ones and they're above us. That's why they have more power than the authority seat. They're able to have more influence than us. That's the thing. So it's the curse that we're going through right now. Deuteronomy 28 verse 43 again. The stranger that is within thee, so around you, shall get up above thee. So they'll be above, very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's why we got to go meet him to the banks, in order to withdraw cash. Because realistically, the way it's working is, you work, you get paid into the bank account, but who owns the bank? Because the banks are the ones holding your cash. That's the thing. So of course, Esau Edom's the one who owns those banks, man. So therefore, they're the ones in power. As I said, Esau and the rest of these heathens too. So they're the ones in power. So look, they're the ones in power. So yeah, that's really the point. 43, we're in the curse, but 13, Deuteronomy 20 verse 13 is a key part that we're gonna get in the kingdom, man. And over time, of course, we're gonna be seeing it in the spirit, anyways, man. When the mark of the beast happens, and then people are taking the chip. You got the prophets out there as pilgrims. Then when they're away from their families, their family members are going to be one of the first ones to then realize a prophet has been among them, pertaining to that scripture. And of course, after that, when that spiritual power, that's going to be another level up, where Israel's going to be the head over all other nations, man. Because with that spiritual power, that breaks down whatever powerful state of which Esau has or any other heathen has during that time as well, man. So again, that's when what's the saying called? When the tables start to turn, or when you flip the coin. Esau right now is on top, but then Jake's at the bottom. But of course, when you flip the coin, Jake's gonna be on top, man, and even more so on top because of the fact that they're gonna be powers. They're gonna be gods. That's why as the scriptures say, ye are gods, children of the Most High. So we're really going to be far above what any other heathen has achieved ever, because it's our rightful state. The only reason why is because we're in this flesh, and of course we disobey the Most High. Hence why we go through the curses. So let me get the next one. And as I said, all this is then going to be happening during as Yahawashi approaches, man. Because as each day passes by, all adding on to the prophecies to happen, Yahawashi is up there, of course, the countdown's coming in until the Most High then tells him, right, go down and then take the kingdom, man, as he's going to do so in that time. So let me get Matthew 24 about his arrival. Because, as all these things are happening, the countdown is becoming lower and lower and lower. The way it's like, the last 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds. It moves on to 40 seconds. And from 40 seconds to 30 to 20, then 10, then 5. And of course, Yahawashi then arrives, man. Obviously in a metaphorical sense. But yeah, man, the countdown's gonna feel like that. Of course, in a, again, metaphorical sense. Because, we don't know when it's gonna come, but we're gonna know that it's super close based on the prophecies that are being fulfilled, man. That point where you're gonna start seeing brothers performing miracles, you already know Yahawashi is right at the corner. It's just a matter of when those chariots are then going to appear like that. Obviously, they're going to be here. Chariots are going to be here. It's going to be part of the prophecies as well. But we'll talk about Yahawashi's grand arrival, man, which is going to be a terrible, fearsome day. Everyone's going to drop everything. Whatever they're doing in that day during Jacob's trouble, they're going to drop everything. And they're going to look up into the skies, man. They're going to look up into the skies. And they're going to see those chariots, and not just any other chariots, they're going to see the grand chariot, which is where Yahawashi will then be in. So let me get Matthew 24 first. Matthew 24 verse 30 about the clouds, the Son of Man. Now I'm just getting it right now. So this is Matthew, I read from verse 29. Matthew 24 verse 29, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. So Matthew 24 verse 30, and then shall Matthew 24 verse 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So again, you're gonna see those chariots in that day, man. A whole load of chariots, and then a major one where everyone's gonna be like, yep, the master's in there. Yahawashi's in there, man. Obviously, for those who do know his name, Yahawashi's in that chariot. So, that's Matthew 24. Let me see if I can move on to the next precept. Let's see. Yeah, so okay, I'm just trying to get this another precept. Okay, go on. And then another precept, so okay, I was just, cross-checking if it's the right one. So yeah, Revelation 6 verse 2, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. That white horse, a horse represents power, and of course that white horse is really referenced to a chariot. That's what it represents. And on that horse is going to be Yahawashi, man. He is going to come conquering and to conquer further. That's the thing, to establish his kingdom. So that's really what that verse in Revelation 6 verse 2 means, man. He's going to come in that grand chariot, and he's going to start conquering, and he's going to take the kingdoms from these heathens, man. All other kingdoms are going to enter their downfall. Then only Yahawashi's kingdom is going to be set up once and for all, forever. So, the time that we're coming into as well is a time where Israel is going to be upheld, where we're not going to be in this lower state anymore, man. Because Yahawashi, being our big brother in the heavens right now, for those who can receive in the spirit, the thing is, he's going to come back and he's going to take his kingdom. Obviously, when he takes his kingdom, he's going to assign his rulers, and those rulers are going to be his saints, of which he has his trust in. So of course, as Yahawashi said, I think there's this parable about you've taken care of the small things, so obviously now I'll also give you much more, something pertaining to that. Let me try to get that. About being a faithful servant. Yeah, this is it. So Matthew 25 verse 21. You know, so okay, let me actually cross check this. I think it's the right one, but I just want to see if it's verse 21 or actually verse 23. Yeah, you know, I'll read verse 21 because it's pertaining to a parable, but I'll explain in the way in the context of Yahawashi. So Matthew 25 verse 21, his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, and I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou in the joy of thy Lord. And let's see. Let me skip to verse 23. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I'll make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So really it's the same point being proven that Yahushua has given us responsibility over a few things, which really our responsibility right now as the prophets, really speaking to the men here, is to preach and to obviously teach Israel, you know, to gather the elect for Yahushua's sake, you know, the servants in order to keep plowing, man, until the time where the job's going to be done, which is up to the point of salvation. So that's our responsibility, to teach, to preach, and obviously we have to prophesy, you know, as the role of a prophet is to prophesy, which is involved in teaching and preaching, man. You know, studying the scriptures, that's another responsibility, and also teaching those who need to be taught. So the Israelites that do come into this truth, we then teach them, and of course, you know, we just execute that responsibility that I've said just now, man. Preaching, teaching, studying. You know, for those who do enter into the truth, that's what they're supposed to be doing, and that's specifically for the men. So, and of course for the women, their role is also mentioned as well, but that's pertaining to another lesson. That's, you know, pertaining to like Titus 2, I think 2 Timothy chapter 1 or chapter 2 refers to that as well, but that's another lesson anyways. But this is really for the men, you know, who are there, who have the responsibility to prophesy, to preach, to teach, to study. So yeah, that's 23. The point is, you know, Yahushua has given us that certain responsibility, so we need to use that. And of course, if we then endure to the end, he will then give us an even bigger responsibility because he knows he can actually trust us now, you know, post salvation. So after salvation, man, when the sign of those new bodies as well, Yahushua is then going to assign his elect in his kingdom to take control and order in certain places, man, in certain systems that Yahushua creates, man. You know, that's the way it's going to be. So of course, in that time where he's going to assign us as rulers, Yahawashi will be worthy to be part of the elect. That's when true fear is then going to be upon the heathens, man. It's going to be a gradual thing. You know, spiritual power over here in Jacob's trouble, salvation, new bodies. And when we put in our rightful position, they're going, the very sight of us is going to get their heart pumping in that time, man. Yahawashi will be worthy to be part of the elect. But yeah, the very sight of us is going to be something of which they're going to be terrified. So, you know, when they say, well, I don't know, I don't know if people say this, but you know, when you got those characters in the movies where their mere presence demands respect, that's the way it's going to be. But even more, 10 times, maybe even 1,000 times. Not even maybe, I shouldn't be saying maybe, it will be 1,000 times. The respect when you sense someone's presence. As soon as you see them, you know, heathens gonna be bowing to Israel, man. Especially to the elect and the authority. And really, you know, as I said, it says, you know, let me get the precept, you know, it says ye are gods, man. That's the state that we're gonna come back into. All of Israel. So yeah, let me get Psalms 82. Yeah, Psalms 82, verse 6. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. This is reference to only Israel. Psalms 82, verse 7. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. So of course, things right now we're in vessels of which we are then prone to death, man. You know, because we ain't got a victory over death, and not yet. We don't have victory over death like the way Yahawashi had victory over death, man. If Yahawashi had to go in the flesh and of course die, then now he's got victory over death. So now he's waiting for his time in order to then take his kingdom. So right now, as we're in these terrestrial vessels, before we then get translated into the new vessels, which will be a hybrid between terrestrial and celestial, because the thing is we'll be able to, you know, do human things like eat and go to the toilet, simple things like that, human processes. And also we'll be able to also travel to the heavens as well, man. Imagine that. We're going to be able to travel to the heavens and obviously communicate with angels and see angels as well, alongside with the thing, alongside with the human processes that are happening as well. So of course, those are the new bodies to come. So that's why right now we're obviously in a humble state, because we're prone to death. We haven't had a victory yet. We just have to focus on our responsibility first before Yahawashi will then trust us, and you know, Yahawashi will be worthy of that salvation that he provides for us, man. So that's why it says, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. And really those princes are referring to the heathens, man. You know, the princes of man. Those are the heathens. So yeah, so let me just skip to verse oh yeah, I'm not even skipping, but yeah, verse 8, Psalms 82 verse 8. Arise, O power, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. That's the prophecy right there, man. Yahawashi, when he comes, he's gonna inherit all nations. They're gonna be subject unto them. They're gonna be our maids and our bond servants and our bond maids, man. You know, pertaining to Leviticus. Let me get that as well. Leviticus 25. The heathens that are around about us, they're going to be our slaves. So just because we went through slavery, don't mean that we're not going to get our flipping payback. You know, Yahawashi, they've seen what the heathens have done unto us. So of course, we're gonna get them as slaves as well, man, and execute judgment. Now, where's that scripture? Precept. About bond maids and bond women. I mean, bond men and bond maids. Hold on. Yeah, Salaki on comment. It should be here. Oh yeah, I found it. Salaki. So yeah, this is Leviticus chapter 25 verse 44. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids which thou shalt have shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. So of course that's pertaining to the fact that of the heathens that are round about us, we're gonna own them. Straight up, we're gonna own them as slaves. That's what that scripture means. So of course that time they're really gonna fear us, man, because you know fear is also part of having respect for someone as well. You know, we've got to fear the Most High to also have respect to the Most High as well. You know, it's part of it. So, and another part of it is obviously listening to the commandments. So let me get this. So of course, right now I read Psalms 82, verse 7, which talks about the fact that ye shall die like men. So of course we're humbled, but despite being in this humble state, you know, we have a reward for us. So let me get to Matthew 5 verse 5. Matthew 5 verse 5. So Matthew 5 verse 5, actually wait, so like, yeah, wait. You know what, yeah, let me read from I'll read from verse 3 to verse 5. So Matthew 5 verse 3, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Verse 4, blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Verse 5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So then read verse 3 again. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, of course, poor in spirit, poor is not reference to not having like physically having a lot of resources, which though in reality, most of Israel, they don't really have much resources, but it's also referring to the fact of being weak in the spirit, man. Not having much strength, not being in that strong authority state. But yeah, let me get, because the root word for poor, just wait, hold on. Yeah, this is the root word for poor.
Strong's G 4434. Tochas. Tochas.
So that's tochas, and what that means is let me get it. It says reduced to beggary, begging, asking alms, destitute of wealth, influence, position, honor. So of course it's not just pertaining to physical material wealth. It can also be pertaining to influence, position. These are things related to power, authority, honor. It says helpless, powerless to accomplish an end. So when it says poor in spirit, it's those who are in a low state, man. Those who are not in authority. As I said in the beginning, that Israel is under the curses. Israel shall be the tail, and then they shall be the head. That's the curses that we're under right now, man. They shall be way above us, which is really is going into Deuteronomy 28 verse 43, which is the curse of the heathens being above us. That's simply what it is. So of course, that's what Matthew 5 verse 3 is talking about. Though we're in this low state of authority, this is a reward that we're gonna get, which is really inheriting the whole earth. But let me get that. So okay. Let me get that. So let me read it again. Matthew 5 verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, which again, low authority. They don't have any power. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Theirs is the kingdom of heaven, man. Yahawashi, when he's going to establish the kingdom upon earth, it's going to be all heaven, man. It's going to be all heaven. And that's the thing. Because the thing is, through the Spirit as well, for those who are part of the elect, they're going to have the heavens as well, man. As the scriptures say. In fact, let me try to get that as well. Let me try to get that. Y'all wrote as I can find it, though. We're going to be in that state of authority, man. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It says also in the scriptures that we shall judge angels. That's why when it said in Matthew 5 verse 3 that theirs is the kingdom of heaven, yes, it's reference to Yahushua's kingdom, but also at the same time, in the heavens, we're going to have authority too. It's not just going to be on earth as well, in the heavens, because we're going to be able to judge angels. And let me get that precept. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 3, know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? So the thing is, in the time to come where, we're translated into those new bodies and our minds are flipping cleaned from all the nonsense that we've seen in this past life and all the sins and everything, that's just a cloud in our heads, obstructing our connection with Yahweh. So of course, once that thing is then stripped off us, through the purging as well, the refining as gold or silver, Zechariah 13 verse 9, about the 1/3. After all of that, in that time to come, we're going to be able to judge angels, man, in our new forms. We're going to be able to judge angels. So of course, again, that's reference to authority in the heavens and authority upon the earth as well. Just like the way our bodies, we'll be able to have human processes, terrestrial processes, and celestial things as well, man, with spiritual power. That's man, the time to come, yeah, we're gonna be so grateful. Grateful probably ain't even a word to describe the the blessings that we're gonna get, man. After we endure to the end, Yahawashi. So let me get this preset. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the point. It says that, you know, as the topic says, man, it says they will fear us. The heathens will fear us as Yahawashi approaches, man. So of course, with each prophecy happening, all up to the point where we're actually in our positions now under Yahawashi, where Yahawashi has put us in order to, you know, rule over, you know, in His kingdom, the fear is just going to be going up, man. It's just going to be going up from the heathens. That's the way it's going to be. So of course, right now we're lowly, but we only have to suffer it for a time, because we know Yahawashi will rise us up, man. He will rise us up in the time to come where we're lowly, man. Whether it be during Jacob's trouble, where we're gonna meet, some of us will die. Of course, that's certified. Some of the elect, Yahawashi will be part of it, will die. And of course, the things for those who don't die, they also may have spiritual power. One could even get spiritual power at the verge of their death, man. That's the thing. So, you know, Yahawashi will be worthy to, we have that faith in that time to come, and we'll be worthy to get those blessings too. Because spiritual power is a very, 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 very high blessing, though. So of course, that's the point right there. But let me end off on this one. Because really, this one summarizes this video. So this is Wisdom chapter 3 verse 1 to 9. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh, the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and their going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for Himself. As gold in the furnace hath He tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord, Yahawashi, shall reign forever. They that put their trust in Him shall understand the truth, and such be faithful in love shall abide with Him. For grace and mercy is to His saints, and He hath care for His elect. And that's the keeper right there, man. You know, though we suffer in the sight of men, we're not going to be in this position forever. Our time to rise will come. And you know, and Yahawashi is going to deem it that way, man. It's going to be that way. We just have to stay strong in faith and keep going up to the very end. That's the thing, diligence, which really means careful and persistent effort. You see that word in the scriptures, man, in certain verses. But yeah, that's the key point, man. We're being refined right now, and as we're being refined, though it looks as if we're being punished in the sight of men, it says our hope is full of immortality, man, in verse 4. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 verse 4, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, never ending, because we know in the times to come we're actually going to be immortals anyways, man. So of course our faith will also reflect the salvation to come of immortality. So it just makes sense. Now, so although we're suffering through that, we're going to be refined, and as we're going to be refined, at the end of that refining, when we then get that salvation, Yahawashi, we're worthy, then we're going to be judging nations, man. And as the scripture said before, we're going to be judging angels as well. So authority in the heavens, and as well as authority on earth as well. So that's just the way everything is just wrapped up, man. You know, the scripture's going to be beautiful, man. You know, the way everything just links, from the bodies, terrestrial to celestial, having pretty much being in between both, and also having rulership in the heavens and on the earth, having being able to access both as well there. Like if Yahweh Shem Yashai has blessed you that understand, you gotta be grateful, man. You gotta be grateful. But yeah, the point is, we won't be in this position forever. And also, they will fear us. Soon come. Soon come. We just have to suffer our lowly state for a time being, man. Which is part of that long suffering and patience that we need to have. So yeah. That's pretty much that. That's pretty much it, yeah. God. So call halalim la Yahweh Shem Yashai Bashar Hakodash, and double on this to great Muslim apostles, Thadi Yahshai, for giving me the power, Lord, to make this video, man. And Yara Tazar, that you're edified, you're taught well, that you understood the lesson as well. And yeah, Shalom, Shalom, we've got to keep going. We've got to keep going.